And the meeting at the plate commences, and it looks like we are ready to go. Reiterating the Ole Miss lineup for you here. Michaela Alley will lead things off. Bree Roper behind her. Paige Smith in the 3 spot. Abby Latham cleaning things up. Sydney Gutierrez in the 5th hole. Kayla Komoko batting 6th. Tate Whitley, KK Esparza, and Naomi Jones round out the Rebels lineup. Reiteration of the Fullerton field for you from right to left in the outfield. Antoinette Dean, Megan Delgadillo in center, Alyssa Hernandez at first, Daisy Munoz, Alexa Neal at second, Peyton Toto at short, Hannah Becerra at third, and behind the dish, Jessie Alcala. Stacy Chambers in the circle taking her warm-up tosses. She's a sophomore from Granite Hills High School down south in the San Diego area, El Cajon to be exact. She was a 3-time Grossmont League champion, a 2-time first-team All-CI effort. If you know anything about CIF softball, it's some of the best in the nation. So to be awarded that first-team honoree, really something special for Chambers. A season ago, a 2-3 record, 3.37 ERA and 27 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts and 14 walks. And Michaela Alley getting ready to dig in here and lead things off on a beautiful Friday night from Orange County, California.
Getting up again for Ole Miss, shortstop, number 6, Michaela Alley.
Cora Ranfield immediately playing in. Alley, you may recognize her, not from too far away at Norco High School, one of the powerhouses. First pitch, outside corner, called a strike. 77 degrees at 5:49 is our opening pitch time. Again, 77 degrees. Yeah, it is the middle of February, and that is our temperature at game time. Clear skies, sun is setting, lights are on, and the fans are in it. Chambers ready with the 0-1. Leaves that one a little too far outside to even the count here to Alley. As I mentioned, a Norco High School alum a season ago. She was tied for second most in the NCAA in hit by pitches. She was hit 24 times. Also walked 25. A wizard at getting on base. Chambers ready with the 1-1. Fastball dribble to short. On the move is Toto. Fires it over to first, and out number 1 is on the board. Routine middle infield 6-3 put out as we are underway here in the top of the first inning. Bree Roper will check in now. Roper out of Woodstock, Georgia, transferred from Georgia Tech, where a season ago she was actually a 3rd team out in the ACC. 4 seasons saw her start in 167 games for the Yellow Jackets. Career .298 batting average. A little lefty on lefty action here early on. Batter number 2 for Chambers. McCall is such a good sign caller. Chambers delivers. Painting the outside corner for strike 1. So immediately against both a righty and a lefty, the outside corner has been established as a strike. Something to keep an eye on here as the night begins. Chambers very methodical inside the circle. Her stretch a little bit slower as she winds up. She has that big front step that just unloads all that power behind that fastball that just had Roper well out in front for strike 2. And to have a southpaw who can change up speeds but also remain consistent, such a luxury for Coach Ford. She looks for out number 2 here. Roper looking to stay alive with an 0-2 count on the board. Chambers fires. It's a little low. Chopper off the glove over to Toto at short. Makes the play. No problem over to first. Back-to-back 6-3 putouts. 2 away here in the top of the first inning as Paige Smith will stride in. Smith, another Norco grad. So, ironically, Ole Miss actually has 6 players on their team from California. That ties Texas for the most well-represented state for the Rebels. Norco, of course, consistently a top 3 or 4 nationally regarded program at the high school level. And Paige Smith was a big part of that back in the 2019 season. Watches a first pitch strike at the knees. SEC all-newcomer team back in the 2020 season. Started 56 of her 58 games at third. Batted .295, but she actually had 6 straight hits against Baylor and Sam Houston State in back-to-back games. Chambers working quickly now with 2 outs on the board. Here's the 0-1. Missing outside to even the count. Just the second ball thrown here of the top of the first for Stacey Chambers. Chambers was really widely regarded back in her high school days. She was recruited by Fresno State, Wisconsin, Louisville, amongst others, but chose to just come up the 5. It's Cal State Fullerton for this historic program. The 1-1 missing outside to bring the count to 2-1. Her first time falling behind in the count here in the top 3 batters. It's Paige Smith making her work for this out. Of course, Granite Hills touted with that blue field. Dominates the Grossmont League. Smith with that wide batting stance, looking for the power. Here's the 2-1. Off speeder, outside corner, called a strike, and we got 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away here in the top of the first inning. Chambers looking to make quick work of the Rebels. And there's sort of a catch-22 when it comes to already having a few games under your belt versus your opponent. Your opponent has the scouting opportunities, but you already have sort of your feet warm, so to speak. This one sliced down the third base line, but glides just foul. We'll do it again at 2-2. As I mentioned, 2-1 record for Ole Miss. Opened up with a 10-1 victory over Dixie State. Lost to Oregon, top 18 program. And then earlier today, they were actually down 4-1 well into the 4th inning against Colorado State, but back-to-back innings, plating a handful of runs, brought it all the way back, ended up holding on to win 7-6. Smith looking to stay alive. Chambers looking to retire the side. The 2-2 fouled back, and we'll do it again. Nice showing here at Anderson Family Field as well. Ole Miss traveling very well. Also helps that half their lineup is from the area, so families don't have to travel too far to see some of their players. Only West Coast trip of the season for Ole Miss. As I mentioned, they'll head to Troy, Alabama after this one. More work to be done as Chambers toes the rubber, kicks and fires the 2-2. And another tip off the barrel for Smith. We got a battle brewing here between Paige and Stacey. Neither backing down, giving an inch. Ball in hand, here's the 2-2. This one bouncing wide right. Good job by Alcala, regardless, no players on the base paths. And we have a full count, our first full count here in the top of the first. Paige Smith trying to work her way into a walk, keep the inning alive, or at least force Chambers to have to throw a strike. 14 walks, 14 strikeouts a season to go with a 2-3 record for Stacey Chambers. Looking for the K here, payoff pitch outside, ball 4, and a great battle between Smith and Chambers, and Smith draws the walk for the first base runner of the ball game with 2 away here in the top of the first inning.
Right fielder, number 30,
Patience is key. This is an Ole Miss team that can certainly plate runs in bunches, but the first step is getting runners on those base paths, and expect Paige Smith to perhaps dance off of first. She's not. I would be shocked if they try and send her here with 2 away in the middle of the order up. Here's Abby Latham in the cleanup spot. 2 away, runner on first, top of the first inning. Chambers delivers. Sliced right through, back pick attempts. Not in time. Munoz was actually facing the wrong way. If she was facing towards the field rather than the foul line, I think that she could have had a better look at the tag, but nonetheless, 0-1 on the board. Latham out of Livingston in Alabama. 0-1 missing outside, and that evens the count. That's at Demopolis High School. She was actually a Max Preps All-American first teamer. four-time All-Stater. And she actually she set the Ole Miss freshman record for RBI in a season back in 2019 with 54. Since then, her game has just been elevated each and every season. Takes this one high down the right foul line, and it's off the glove of Munoz. That'll be a strike, but not an out. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away, runner on first. And with those floodlights on, sometimes you can lose the balls, and perhaps that's what happened with Munoz. That was also really well hit. .58 games played a season to go for Latham. Batted .306. 7 homers led the team. Chambers ready. Here comes the 1-2. Chopper down the third base side this time. Goes foul. We'll do it again. So back-to-back batters really forcing Chambers to work inside the circle after the opening 2 batters. Michaela Alley and Bree Roper grounded out to short. Paige Smith drew a walk after a long at-bat, and here's Abby Latham trying to mirror that result or even one-up her with a hit. Chambers fires in the 1-2. Half-hearted swing. She did not go, and that evens the count. Good wherewithal right there by Latham to hold back. 77 degrees, by the way. Feels like the warmest start I've ever been a part of in the middle of February. Now, half my broadcasting time has come in the Pacific Northwest, so not necessarily been given that opportunity. But even down here, like I said, the last time these two teams were supposed to match up in 2017, it got rained out. Here there was a heat wave. 2-2 upstairs, ball 3, and back-to-back full count situations now for Chambers. Very active, though. You can hear in both dugouts. The Ole Miss dugout earlier against the Colorado State game really upped the tempo in terms of energy. Chambers looking to end the inning. Latham looking to extend it. Southpaw ready with the payoff pitch. Here it comes. High strike, swing and a miss. Latham is sent down swinging. First strikeout of the ball game for Chambers. And that'll do it for the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 stranded on base. Bottom of the first is upon us. We'll be back in a moment here from Anderson Family Field. You're watching the Easton Invitational on ESPN+.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Bottom of the first inning back here at Anderson Family Field. Jonathan Rifkin, delighted to be with you on a Friday night. What better way to kick off the weekend than with the Easton Invitational here at Fullerton. Megan Delgadillo lead things off for the Titans. Alexa Neal follows. Batting third, Hannah Becerra. Daisy Munoz will clean things up. Deja Hill in the 5th hole. Peyton Toto batting 6th. Jessie Alcala, Alyssa Hernandez, Antoinette Dean round out the Titans order. I'll give you the field here for Ole Miss after this opening at-bat. Titans were able to seed a base runner with a walk. That was Paige Smith in the top half, but no damage done thereafter. In the circle is Anna Borgen getting her second start of the season. First pitch outside, ball one. Borgen 0-1. That one loss came against Oregon. 5 2/3 innings pitched. She had 4 strikeouts, a walk. She did hit a batter as well in the 3-0 loss. Borgen out of Heath, Texas, graduate of Dallas Christian High School, a senior. And missing again on the second pitch of this at-bat. 2-0 the count here to Delgadillo. Delgadillo, a second-team All-Big Wester a season ago. Led off all 48 games, batted .340. Also had a team high in stolen bases, and if she gets on, expect for her to fly. Here's the 2-0. Missing low, ball 3. She sort of takes the slap hit approach every single time. Even if she's not going to wave the bat, she is still jumping out of the batter's box, rather. But well ahead in the count here against Anna Borgen. Season ago, Borgen actually set a school record for 35 consecutive scoreless innings pitched, but here, 4 straight balls, and here is Megan Delgadillo over at first, the Titans' opening runner of the 2022 season. And what better player to have on the base path than your coach, Kelly Ford, because she is your fastest player, and her base running IQ is just so high. That'll bring up Alexa Neal. Neal out of Ramona, northeast San Diego County. 10 games started, 26 games played a season ago, 185 batting average. Expected to be used a little bit more consistently this season. First pitch in there for a strike. Back-to-back lefties in the lineup. Now, as great as that is, you're going against Borgen, who's a lefty pitcher, so maybe not the game plan specifically for this pitcher. That one chopped down the third base side, but foul. We'll do it again at 0-2. Back in the 2019 season, Neal was a Big West second-teamer. She was actually on the freshman team as well, and she was the Big West co-freshman fielder of the year. So accolades 3 times in the 2019 campaign. She elevated her game in 2020. Played in limited action a season ago. Here she's getting the start. This one is a chopper to third. Smith is there to make the play on the out over to first. Delgadillo over to second on the throw. And that's a productive out. It doesn't count as a sacrifice, but for all intents and purposes, 1 away runner on second. Abby Latham in right, Tate Whitley in center, Naomi Jones in left, Sydney Gutierrez at first, Kayla Komoko at second, Michaela Alley over at short, Paige Smith at third, behind the dishes, KK Esparza. And now a conversation to be had here on the field. So the umpires are down on the third baseline right now. I think there's something going on with the bag here. Coach Arujo out there on the third base side, trying to tend to whatever the issues are here on the bases. This is the first game here for the Titans, but this is now the 4th game played on this field during the day. The sprinklers did go on prior to this game being played. I think the bases are wet, and that is the janitorial duties right now of Megan Delgadillo over at first and Coach Arujo. Anna Becerra waiting in the batter's box to take her ups, reigning Big West Freshman of the Year, having a historical season really as a freshman for this program. Diamond Bar, California native, just up the 57 freeway. She was an All-American third-teamer, first-teamer here in the West region, first-team Big Wester, and the Freshman of the Year. She batted .356 and led the conference with 14 big dingers. First pitch inside to her, ball 1, and boy, does she eat up against lefties. Very favorable matchup. By the way, those 14 homers, school freshman record. She also was perfect in the field in all 51 games played. Going back to high school, she was actually a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. You see why. 1-0 pitch sails in there for strike one. So Delgadillo led off with a walk. Neal grounded out. Here's Becerra trying to move Delgadillo over, even score her. And a big opportunity in the early going here, bottom of the first inning, to try and get on the board first. Morgan delivers. This one is cut down the left field. Delgadillo will be held over at third, and Becerra is at first, albeit by the skin of her teeth after that throw, with a single. First hit of the ball game on either side, and we have runners at the corners with only one away.
First baseman, number 20, Daisy Munoz.
And here's Daisy Munoz. Munoz from Buena Park, California. First team Big Wester last season. Played all 50 games, 338 batting average, 40 RBI, scored 17 runs. She actually, prior to Becerra coming over, she had the freshman record for home runs here for Cal State Fullerton with 10. First pitch in there for strike one. So in 2019, she ties the freshman record, and then a year later, Becerra comes and joins the program and breaks it with 14. And what a luxury to have her in the four-hole behind Becerra, just two power hitters in consecutive fashion. Becerra on the move, that one missing outside, and a catching indifference will allow her to slide safely into second. So one's across the board now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away. Runners on second and third. Delgadillo at third, Becerra over at second, and Munoz now tasked with trying to get the first runs on the board. Origin taking her time in the circle. Toes the rubber, kicks and fires the 1-1. In on the hands and grounded foul. Out ahead in the count now is Anno, 1-2. Origin had a 12-8 record a season ago, 2.49 ERA. As I mentioned, that school record 35 scoreless consecutive inning pitch over 9 games, and that one is tipped foul off the glove of Esparza. We'll do it again at 1-2. Had a 4-run record the year prior. Every single year she's getting the start. This one is being chopper to third. Fifth year now with the program there to make the play. COVID year gained of eligibility. She's elevated her game. She's lowered her ERA. Her first season, she still had a really good number at 2.75 in 61 innings pitched. She's been under 2 since. The 1-2 slapped foul will do it again for a third straight time. But that goes back to high school for Origin. 3-time all-first-team stater out of Texas. She's also an all-district MVP. She batted .680 over her career in high school. She also had a 1.12 ERA over her career in high school, 44-7 record. So when she was recruited, she was in the upper echelon of the nation's best softball two-way players and has really shown consistency for this program. Here's the 1-2 once again. Popped up, shallow right field. Kamoku towing the grass makes the out. Runners stay put at second and third, 2 outs now here in the bottom of the first inning. And that was a really good scenario right there for Ole Miss. And here's Deja Hill.
Designated player, number 14, Deja Hill.
Hill, another San Diego native out of Carlsbad, was a Carlsbad Lancer back in the day. Big West first teamer back in the 2019 campaign. The year before that, she was the Big West Freshman of the Year. She was also an all-region third teamer. So there are currently 2 Big West former Freshman of the Year on this roster. First pitch to her, a little low for ball 1. Hill opted out of the 2021 season, so it's nice to see her back inserted in the Fullerton lineup for the first time since 2020, where she batted .288. Origin working a 1-0 count. This one slapped back down on the plate to even it 1-1. Delgadillo led off with a walk. She's standing on third. Neal grounded out. Becerra singled. She's standing on second, and Munoz popped out. And now a conversation to be had here on the first base side. Coach Treshel, a wizard at communicating with her team, and right now she knows how important this out is. There's a bit of momentum to start off the bottom of the first inning for Cal State Fullerton, and since then, Borgen has done a very good job just meticulously working, forcing batters to stay protected. And she retired Alexa Neal and Daisy Munoz for two very important outs. Meeting breaks, and we're back to softball. 1-1 count, 2 away, 2 on. Here's the pitch. A high chopper into left field. Scoring is Delgadillo, and the damage is done. On the throw from first to second goes Deja Hill, and the Titans strike first here in the bottom of the first inning. It's 1-0. Welcome back, Deja Hill.
Shortstop, number 5, Peyton.
So it's a single and advancement on the throw. Over to third goes Becerra, and the inning continues. And you know the Fullerton faithful happy with that result, as Peyton Toto will dig in now. Sophomore from Antelope, California. Big West freshman teamer a season ago. 282 batting average for her. And was she a steal for the Titans as well? She was recruited by UNLV, Sac State, Syracuse, Idaho State in the mix as well. She was really important in her freshman campaign, also earning a conference honorable mention. Runners threatening once again, second and third, 2 away, 1 around. Borgen working now. First pitch upstairs, ball 1. Coach Ford over at first base, relaying the instructions to her runners. But with 2 away right now, Borgen is trying to get out of the inning with limited damage on this one. It's a rip down the third baseline. It's off the glove of Smith. 1 run comes in. And Hill will be held at third. Back-to-back RBI singles for the Titans. They lead 2-0. And Peyton Toto standing at first base with her first RBI of the season. Hill remains at third. Becerra came in and scored.
Catcher, number 31, Jesse Alcala.
Third hit of the inning. 2 runs cross the plate. Runners at the corners now. Toto at first, Hill at third. Here's Jesse Alcala. Catcher batting 7th. Southpaw delivers. At the knees for strike 1. Alcala out of Whittier, California, went to Lucerna High School, this being her sophomore season, but her 3rd season with the program. She only started 4 games a year ago, but Coach Ford told us that she really appreciated what she saw and is going to be a big key this season. Takes this one down the left field line. It's fair into the corner. 1 run comes in to score, but a great cutoff by Jones limits the damage to just that. 3 consecutive RBI singles for the Titans. They're up 3-0.
Right fielder, number 12, Alyssa Hernandez.
Toto over to second. Hill came in to score. Alcala standing at first base. And here's the 8th batter of the inning, Alyssa Hernandez. La Crescenta, California native. Sophomore also with her 3rd season. 250 batting average last year in 31 games played. This one is ripped up the middle. Rounding third, being waved on home is Toto. The throw to the plate is off. And then the relay, we got a pickle now. As Alcala gets caught, the ball is fumbled, and she is going to stand on second base. That is an RBI single for Alyssa Hernandez on the first pitch. 4 straight RBI singles now for the Titans. Small ball gets the job done. It's 4-0. Four runs, 5 hits in the inning. Runners on first and second. And Conversation in the circle will send us to a break. 2 on, 2 away, 4 runs around in the inning. We'll rejoin the action in a moment. You're watching the Easton Invitational on ESPN+.
Help me.
Who is that? Who's there?
Help me.
But I'm scared that the picture quality will suffer in such low light.
What? It'll be fine.
In the circle, Borgen will stay out there. There were no runs with 2 away, and the Titans offense has really woken up. Antoinette Dean will step in, the 9th batter of the inning. First pitch to her. Upstairs called a strike, though. Dean out of Victorville, transferred from New Mexico State last season, 286 batting average in 45 games played. Also known for her running ability. Back at Silverado High School, she shows bunt and misses for strike 2. She actually set a school record. She ran a 22-mile-per-hour run at Silverado High School, and that is a testament to her speed. And that's why you saw her bunting with 2 away here and 2 on. Right now, though, it's time to protect. Bergen trying to get out of the inning. The 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. And mercifully, the first inning is over, but not before 4 runs come around, 5 hits, no errors, and a pair stranded. It's 4-0. 1 inning gone in the Easton Invitational between Cal State Fullerton and Ole Miss. We'll return for the 2nd inning in a moment. Gutierrez, Kamoku, Whitley due up when we return here on ESPN+.
Help me.
Who is that? Who's there?
Help me.
But I'm scared that the picture quality will suffer in such low light.
What? It'll be fine. Help me.
What about the close-up on my petrified face?
Yeah, that looks really good. Help me.
Can I just turn on the light?
No. Get down the stairs.
America's been thunderstruck by the all-new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander. With a sleek exterior and premium interior, get high style without the high price during the spring sales event. Get thunderstruck.
Wild.
Sydney Gutierrez will lead things off here in the 5 spot for Ole Miss. Looking up at the scoreboard, trailing by 4. All 9 batters came up to bat for the Titans. 4 runs crossed the plate, and right there, Gutierrez gets nailed in the knee on the fastball by Chambers. She hits the deck. Hopefully she's okay. So they're going to check on her here. And it looked like she's okay, much to the joy of both fan bases, and never want to see anything egregious right there. And she'll take her base. 1 pitch, 1 batter on here to start off the 2nd inning. And that'll bring up the Hawaiian Kayla Kamoko. But right now it looks like Gutierrez will head to the dugout, and she'll be checked on. And we're going to have a pinch runner. It is Brooke Lorenzo, the freshman from Katy, Texas, taking her spot. And we'll see if Gutierrez is going to be available the rest of the way. Should we hear anything, we'll let you know. Lorenzo out of Katy, went to Ober D. Tompkins. This is her freshman campaign. Looking to do some damage on the base path here. Kamoko digging in now. Kamoko out of Kapolei, Hawaii, went to Kamehameha Kapalama High School. Did a breakout junior season, but the pandemic ended it. She had a shortened senior season and made the move to Oxford, where she is really an important cog here in the middle of the order. Runner on first, nobody out. First pitch outside, ball one. And over at first, Munoz keeping an eye on Lorenzo. She has speed. Middle infield also recognizing a double play opportunity. Here's Chambers delivering the 1-0. Outside, half-hearted swing. She went around, strike one. No runs, no hits, no errors so far for the Rebels. They did have a base runner in the form of Paige Smith back in the first inning. She was walked. Abby Latham struck out thereafter. And now a conversation to be had inside the circle. Daniela O'Toole will stride out there. This will be her first ever meeting on the staff for Cal State Fullerton. Again, a great addition for Kelly Ford. One of the best pitchers ever in the Pac-12 when she was at Arizona. Had an opportunity to see her a few times at my time at Oregon. That was just a quick note there from Coach O'Toole, and we're ready to go once again. 1-1 count here to Kamoku, runner on first. Chambers ready, delivers the 1-1. Big swing and a miss, strike two. Took something off that one. Kamoku well out in front. And again, I mentioned this in the first inning. That's the thing about Chambers. She has that big stride that allows her to unleash the power behind her fastball, but she can come out right back with you, change up speeds, change up location, making her such an asset for this team, why she is the opening day starter for the Titans. Here's the 1-2, outside corner, just missing. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Every pitch that's near the zone, the fans get into it. Everybody in umpire that attends these games. Two. Low, swing and a miss, strike three. Second swinging strikeout of the day for Chambers. First out here in the top of the second inning. And that'll bring up Tate Whitley. Whitley, the senior out of Angleton, Texas. SEC All-Freshman teamer back in the 2019 season. She actually led the team back in 2021 last season with a .370 batting average. Her .466 on-base percentage was 6th in the SEC. Very masterful. Finding her way to the bag. Shows bunt, gets the end of the barrel on it, but it rolls back foul for strike one. Opportune time to bunt right now, especially with the speed out of the left-handed batter's box and the speed on first base. Brooke Lorenzo keeping an eye. Chambers comes set, fires in the 0-1. Bouncing past Alcala from first to second, advances Lorenzo. That will be a wild pitch. And the first runner in scoring position for the Rebels here comes in the top of the second inning with one away. He's trying to keep it in front of Whitley. But it not only eluded the strike zone, but the glove of Alcala behind the dish. One's across the board now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away. Runner on second. Titans played at 4 in the bottom of the first inning. Rebels looking to play catch-up now. They did it earlier against Colorado State. They were down 4-1, ended up winning that one 7-6. Let's see if they have it in them again. 1-1, slap hit attempt, swing and a miss, strike 2. And Chambers went from the fastball once again to that off-speeder. And with no double play opportunity right now, expect perhaps a rise ball. The corner infield is playing in. I want to point that out. Becerra at third and Munoz over at first. Neola step or 2 in front of her position at second as well. Here's the 1-2 from Chambers. Inside corner missing for ball 2. And after the opening 2 batters in the first inning for Ole Miss, Michaela Alley and Bree Roper both grounded out very quickly. Seems like the mentality has shifted in the batter's box for Ole Miss, really forcing Chambers to work. We saw 2 full count opportunities in the first inning, and here's the first one of the second inning for Chambers. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away, 1 on now for Whitley. And as I mentioned, 6th in the SEC in on-base percentage a season ago, and you see why, just surgically monotonous and patient inside the left-handed batter's box. Here's the payoff pitch. Slapped foul, we'll do it again. Chambers looking for the second out. Whitley looking to drive in that run. 3-2 down the third base side. Becerra is there. Looks Lorenzo back to second and makes the fire over to Munoz for out number 2. Becerra did not make an error in her first season, and she's 1 for 1 here in the 2022 campaign.
Catcher number 4, KK Esparza.
And here's KK Esparza, the 8th hole, catching in today's game for the Rebels. Freshman out of Friendswood, Texas. 69th recruit in the nation. This is actually a really well-recruited Ole Miss team. According to Extra Inning Softball, they are number 3 in the nation with this new recruiting class. Here's the first pitch outside, ball 1. Esparza had a 41 RBI sophomore campaign, which set a school record at Friendswood High School. Head coach was Olympic gold medalist Krista Williams-Yates as well, so she was really brought up under one of the best. And she has a really bright future in a Rebels uniform. Here's the 1-0 from Chambers. Just missing low, ball 2. Chambers, the kick and the toss. Low and away, ball 3. Lorenzo was dancing out there on second. Alcala looked her back. And a very favorable 3-0 count here for Esparza, the first 3-0 count we've seen on the Rebels offensive side here this evening. And time called behind the plate by Alcala. Rebels still searching for their first hit. Sydney Gutierrez led off with a hit-by pitch. She ended up going out to get checked on. Lorenzo came into pinch run in her place. Since then, there's been a strikeout and a ground out. The 3-0, though, missing up and away. Ball 4. 4 straight balls to Esparza. And the Rebels have something cooking here with 2 away in the bottom, at the top of the second inning, rather. Runner on second and first. Second walk of the ball game for Stacy Chambers. The last one was Paige Smith back in the first inning. That brings up the 9-hole. Naomi Jones. Very, very fast left fielder for the squad. And you might recognize her. She was a modern-day Monarch, originally from Long Beach, California. Lit up the Trinity League in her years at Mater Dei. First pitch, knee high for a strike. Runners go. Catcher's indifference allows them to remain safe on second and third. Lorenzo standing at third. Esparza at second with 2 away here. An 0-1 count. Jones last season had a .381 batting average. She actually had a pair of hits, including that super regional against Arizona, one of the more productive Rebels against Arizona. This is a slap hit over to third. Becerra's playing in on the line, fires it over to Munoz for out number 3. Well, the Rebels threaten with 2 on, but can't plate them. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 stranded in scoring position. Bottom of the second is upon us. Delgadillo, Neil, all of us here. Cal State Fullerton, Ole Miss, and ESPN Plus appreciate you making us a part of your Friday evening plans. The Titans lead 4-0. The Rebels were threatening in the top half of the inning, but couldn't plate the runners on second and third. And we have a new pitcher, Savannah Diedrich is in. You might recognize her as well, another local product. Los Altos High School out of Hacienda Heights in Los Angeles County. And we have a few other changes as well.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for Ole Miss, number 13, Savannah Diedrich.
As Diedrich will get her 3rd appearance of the season. Ended the game last night against Oregon. And then earlier today against Colorado State as well. Kept the Rams in check to stave off a potential comeback. Here she is for her 3rd appearance, as I mentioned. Not from too far down the road. Los Altos High School. First pitch to Delgadillo, who led things off with a walk. He's in there for strike 1. So Borgen's night is over. 1 inning pitch, 4 hits, 4 runs, all earned. 1 walk, no strikeouts to her evening. Diedrich currently has the school record, but it's tied for strikeouts in a game. That was 15 against Indiana State last season. 12-9 record, 2.64 ERA, and 114 innings pitched in 2021. She also had 9 complete games and 3 shutouts. The 9 complete games led the team. Coming in relief here, though, and tasked with trying to keep the 4-0 lead at bay. Here's the 0-2 to Delgadillo, swing and a miss, strike 3. Beautiful rise ball right there. Has Delgadillo going down on strikes. First strikeout of the ball game for Ole Miss. And Diedrich gets the job done here with her first batter faced. And Alexa Neal now will dig in. Grounded out to 3rd her first time up. Perhaps a more favorable matchup. Remember, Borgen was a lefty. Diedrich is a righty. So for the first 2 batters in the lineup for the Titans, both lefties, perhaps preferring to hit against the righty. First pitch here to Neal. Slap hit back foul for strike 1. Titans led the Big West a season ago in batting average, runs scored, runs per game, team ERA. Of course, we mentioned in the open, they were 1 win away from winning the Big West Championship, their 4th consecutive, and they were upset by Long Beach State in 3 straight games as the 0-1 pitch is on the outside corner for strike 2. Beautiful feed right there from Diedrich, just painting the outside part of the plate. And Neal was not expecting that fastball. That's why she held off. Here's the 0-2. 1 hopper to Alley at short, out number 2. Two quick outs here. Delgadillo strikes out. Neal grounds out. Hannah Becerra will step in now. 1 for 1. She had the opening hit of the ball game back in the first. Came around to score the first run as well for the reigning Big West Freshman of the Year and an All-American. And she is now tasked with extending the inning here. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Titans. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Rebels. They have stranded 3 on base, though. 2 walks and a hit by pitch. Diedrich delivers the first pitch in there for strike 1. That Alley to Gutierrez connection, by the way, that we just saw, the ground out from Neal. Expect that a ton this season. I mean, Alley is just one of the best in the business, nationally probably, defensively in the middle infield, as Becerra is well out in front for strike 2. And I think if you're pitching for contact, that's the part of the field that you're targeting right there as a pitcher, is Michaela Alley at short, because she's so reliable behind you. And right now, Diedrich is rolling in the circle. She's retired the first 2, trying to make it a quick 1-2-3 bottom of the second. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Sarah's ready. Here's the 0-2. High and deep, right center field. Latham is on the move, and she makes the catch for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. The Titans sent down in order to conclude the second inning. Top of the order, do it for the Rebels. When we return, 4-0, Cal State Fullerton leads. You're watching the Easton Invitational on ESPN+.
I would consider us a collective of designers.
Being able to work anywhere is important, especially now.
With Windows 11, we all do different things. Nias is doing illustration.
What's awesome is to be able to combine your fingers in the pen.
Purdy is doing editing.
It's just so much faster for me to render these clips.
Carlos is doing animations.
You have the snap tools, and it's so responsive.
We've been working together from pretty much everywhere.
With Windows 11, we're just doing it better.
It's really been a gift having Mom live with us. But as a nurse, my training told me she needed more help than I could provide. So I connected with a place for Mom. My senior living advisor understood our unique situation. She quickly recommended communities and set up tours. A place for Mom helped us get to a decision. And now, Mom is so well cared for.
Our service comes at no cost to your family. Connect with us today.
Michaela Alley, Bree Roper, Paige Smith due up here for the Rebels in the top of the third inning. Welcome back to the Easton Invitational. Jonathan Rifkin on the call with you. A pleasure as always. A world-class ESPN Plus crew on hand as well. Bringing you the first of what will be a 2-night Easton Invitational here for the Titans. They have Dixie State after this one as the first pitch missing outside ball 1 from Stacey Chambers. Michaela Alley 0 for 1 tonight so far. Ground out to short her first time up. Looking to turn the tide here with her team trailing by 4, but a bit of momentum garnered by Savannah Diedrich in the top half of the inning, or rather the bottom of the second after setting down the Titans in consecutive fashion. Now missing low and away for ball 2. And Stacey Chambers, after a really solid first inning, missed the strike zone a bit in the second. She hit Cindy Gutierrez, who was actually out there playing first, so it looks like she's okay. Ended up walking KK Esparza as well. Rebels stranded runners on second and third last inning. Here's the 2-0. Rise ball upstairs, ball 3. And good patience from Alley, the leadoff hitter, trying to draw what would be the third walk for Ole Miss here this evening. Chambers ready, the 3-0. Nails her in the back. Ouch. And Alley somewhat gingerly will stride over to first base. Second hit batter here of the ball game. And the second consecutive inning that the Rebels have been hit in their leadoff spot. Alley was hit 24 times this season to go, second in the nation. And an early one here in game number 4 to the Rebels season. And that'll bring up Bree Roper. Ground out to short her first time up as well.
Designated player number 5, Bree Roper.
Back at Georgia Tech, Roper, who had a really good 4 seasons in the ACC, actually homered in 3 straight games as a senior. 2 against North Carolina State, 1 against Pitt. And that was sort of the idea to have her here at 2, is because she's so good at just getting her bat on the ball. She can actually really rocket it. So to sort of have the balance of the contact and the power at the top of the order is a luxury for Coach Treichel. And now with a runner on first, hoping maybe to unleash some of that power against Chambers, who has had a bit of a tough time finding the strike zone over the last inning and a half. Now 5 straight balls to begin the third. Here's the 1-0 from Chambers. That one's at the knees for a strike. Just trying to settle in now on the rubber. Trying to erase the memory of those hit batters and start pitching your game once again. One ball, one strike. Chambers delivers. Cut back foul for strike two, and Roper finds herself behind in the count. Here's the 1-2. Runner stays put at first. That one just misses inside. Great eye by Roper. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And over at first, Munoz really communicating with Alcala to pay attention to Allie because she is really fast. She had 19 steals a season ago and hungry for a few here in this game. The 2-2 high and deep to right field. Dean is on the move. It's over her head and against the wall. Rounding second, heading to third is Allie. She'll be held short. No, she's going to go on the throw. No throw will be made, and it's an RBI double for Bree Roper. The Rebels are on the board here in the third inning. It's 4-1. That was a shot. If that was, you know, around noon or 1 o'clock with the air density, that might have actually gotten out of here. It just didn't have the legs as the cool air settles in here in Fullerton. But nonetheless, Roper got the job done with the double. First hit of the ball game for Ole Miss as well, and just like that, O'Toole is going to come out. By the way, one of the fun facts for Coach O'Toole is that she actually has an appearance in the Jackass Forever movie that is now out in theaters. And right now, I think the conversation is there's been a bit of an overcompensation, right? 5 straight balls to begin the inning. You hit Michaela Alley the second time you've hit a batter in this ball game. You've given up 3 walks. And then all of a sudden, you're ahead in the count to Roper, and you just hang one out in the middle of the zone that allowed her to sling that to deep right field. And now it's the mental game, right? We know that Chambers has the ability. We know that she's one of the best in the business when she finds her consistency. But right now, a little bit rattled in the circle, is playing with the lead. It's 4-1. But this Ole Miss Rebels offense, when they come alive, they can close the deficit in a hurry. And here's Paige Smith, who was the first base runner back in the first inning. She walked, digging in. Chambers with a breath as she toes the rubber. Allie scored, Roper at second. Nobody out here in a 3-run ball game. Here's the first pitch. Up and away, ball 1. And that's the other thing you have to make sure if you're Chambers is you're not overcompensating after those hit batters rather. And now you're solely targeting the outside part of the strike zone. These batters are too smart, and they'll recognize that tactic. 1-0 in there for strike 1 right at the belt, and perhaps Alcala assisted a little bit with a frame. That's what makes a great catcher at the Division I level, assuring that the ball is a strike by just nudging it over just a tad, regardless of if the call is going to be a ball or a strike. Chambers with a little bit of confidence now. Here's the 1-1, missing outside. Roper took a step and a half off the second, retreated back. 2 balls and a strike here to Smith. And that Ole Miss bench really getting into it now. They feel the momentum shifting back towards their favor. Here in the top of the third inning, the 2-1. Rise ball missing upstairs, ball 3. And Smith remaining patient inside the batter's box, well ahead in the count. And we saw Chambers paint the bottom of the strike zone back in the first inning quite well. Perhaps that's what you're trying to target right now. Keep things low, force a ground ball, allow your middle infield to do the work. You don't want to walk her. Here's the 3-1, outside corner, catching it for strike 2. Chambers with a big sigh of relief, and now she has a 3-2 count to work with. Smith will look to protect. Here's the payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. Smith walks for her second consecutive time, and that puts runners on first and second with nobody out. The tying run coming to the plate, and who better to be at bat right now than Abby Latham, and I think that Coach Ford knows that, which is why she's going to make a substitution. Racy Miranda, the freshman from Strawberry, Arizona, will come in and take a couple of warm-ups before relieving Stacy Chamber. 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 2 hit batters to her line. And Racy Miranda, first ever pitch, bit of relief as it leads to a double play. Here's Cindy Gutierrez. First pitch upstairs, gets away from Alcala, and from second to third goes Smith. That'll be a wild pitch. It's really good to see Gutierrez is okay after she got hit. Ended up being taken out for Lorenzo, who pinched run over at first and then took the field in the ensuing inning. Currently 0 for 0 with that hit by a pitch, but with a runner at third, now an opportunity to cut the lead in half. A 1-0 in there, strike 1. Beautiful pitch from Miranda. Miranda out of Payson High School, a 2-time first-team All-Leaguer. She was the regional player of the year as a senior as well. She actually left the school holding the school record for the female bench max press, the squat max, and the power clean max. So you know that she has some heat behind these pitches. Here's the 1-1 up and away, ball 2. Also plays a bit of first base. But right now, all she's thinking about is to get that final out here and limit the damage to 1 run. Here's the 2-1 to Gutierrez. Outside corner called a strike. That outside corner was established from the first batter on. It has been consistent, and now 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Runner on third here in the top of the 3rd inning. Miranda with the 2-2. Big cut goes well over the stands and towards the baseball field. That'll keep the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And one thing I really appreciate about Gutierrez is batting stance is she really chokes up on the bat. She does not want to cede any control. So basically when you choke up, you have complete control of the bat. You are limiting her power, but she's not looking for power right now. She is just looking to make contact. Here's the 2-2 once again. Missing outside, back pick, no problem for Smith to get back. And a full count up on the board now for Gutierrez. Miranda came in, forced Latham into a double play. And now trying to retire Gutierrez in the 5th hole, a very tough out. Here's the payoff pitch. Foul it off the left side once again. Gutierrez doing a very good job just getting even a bit of a handle on some of these pitches and staying alive here. Miranda's mostly been throwing fastballs. And if that's her most controlled pitch, I would expect that once again here on the 3-2. Maybe taking a little bit off of it, but you want to keep it in the zone. The 3-2 once again. Up and away, ball 4. Great eye by Gutierrez to draw the 3rd Rebels walk here of the ball game. And runners are now at the corners with 2 away for Kayla Komoko. Komoko struck out her first time up. She was one of the 2 strikeout victims for Chambers. By the way, if Smith does score at 3rd, that run would be earned to Stacy Chambers. So far, she has a goose egg in that category, but one swing of the bat, that could change. Fastball missing low, ball 1. Miranda consistently going to that fastball. Now a conversation to be had here. Coach Ford pointing at the stands. And now we're going to have a conference with the umpires. The Easton Invitational fully underway. Cal, USD, Colorado State, Dixie State, who we'll see in the back end of our doubleheader. Ole Miss and Cal State Fullerton all battling it out. Ole Miss got things kicked off yesterday against Dixie State with a 10-1 win. That Oregon game was a one-off. Oregon is actually playing at the UCLA Invitational, currently at CSUF tonight, so they're not part of this tournament. They were just here to face off against Ole Miss. But tomorrow, a full slate of softball once again, beginning at 9 a.m. Robbie Loyal will have the Cal State Fullerton calls for you, and then on Sunday, the Easton Classic will conclude with Fullerton against San Diego. That'll take you right up to the Super Bowl. And after the umpires converse, the meeting breaks, and we're back to softball. Runners at the corner, Smith at third, Gutierrez at first, and here's Kayla Kamoko with a 1-0 count up on the board and 2 away. Still representing the time. And actually, excuse me, that's Ashley Dendis. Angelina Deleon, third time's the charm. Taking ball 2, Valley Springs, California native, went to Calaveras High School. Coming in place of Kamoko. So Kamoku's one at bat seeded a strikeout. And she swings and misses at that one, 1-2 the count. Deleon, a 4-sport athlete, bat at Calaveras High School. Volleyball, soccer, and tennis. Softball was her main, and she has been able to take her talents to Oxford at the Division I level, and here in a big spot. Here's the 1-2 from Miranda. Half-hearted swing, did she go? She did, strike 3, and the freshman is able to retire the side, limiting the damage to 1 run. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, a pair stranded. Right into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Titans lead 4-1. Munoz Hill, Toto due up. When we return, you're watching the Easton Invitational on ESPN+.
I would consider us a collective of designers.
What's awesome is to be able to combine your fingers in the pen.
You have the snap tools, and it's so responsive.
We've been working together from pretty much everywhere.
With Windows 11, we're just doing it better.
Gillette introduces the all-new Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar, a razor designed to give you a quick and easy shave. It combines shaving and gentle exfoliation into one efficient stroke. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris that gets in the way of the blades, giving you a shave as quick and easy as washing your face, so you can look like you put in an effort, effortlessly. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Middle of the order due up here for the Titans as they lead 4-1. Welcome back, everybody. Jonathan Rifkin on the call with you. Our world-class ESPN crew on hand as well. Daisy Munoz, who popped out to second her first time up. We'll dig in. By the way, Deleon will take over for Kamoko at second as well. Stands out there right now. Savannah Diedrich back in after taking over for Anna Bergen. Ready to go for her second inning of work. Here's the first pitch, up and away, ball 1. Diedrich was a she was a second-team All-American back in high school. School Female Athlete of the Year. She was also a 2-time San Gabriel Valley Player of the Year, which is a really tough accolade to get given the talent in the SGV. This one has popped up, popped back well out of play for strike one. And Munoz on the other side, not from too far away from where Diedrich grew up. Went to Kennedy High School. She actually started at Los Alamitos, went to Kennedy, and then transferred back to Los Alamitos. Her senior year, swings and misses for strike two. She was an all-leaguer both at Kennedy and Los Alamitos, so made an impact at both schools. Right now finds herself down in the count. Diedrich ready, toes the rubber. Rocks and fires the 1-2. Inside, caught the corner, strike three looking. Munoz was crowding. Diedrich didn't care. That's her second strikeout of the ball game. Beautiful pitch right there, establishing the inside corner and staying persistent with it. Here's Deja Hill. She opened up the scoring back in the first with an RBI single. Came around the score pretty soon thereafter. Looking for more. Here's the first pitch. Inside, ball one. So Fullerton opens up the season with 5 straight home games here in the Easton Invitational. They'll head to Phoenix to the Grand Canyon Classic, where they'll face Long Island before 2 games against Idaho State, Grand Canyon and Santa Clara, and then they head to Cathedral, California for the Mary Nutter. That is a very important tournament where they will face a gauntlet. Arizona, San Diego State, Oklahoma, the school of which Kelly Ford made her name as a player, Northwestern, and Oregon. Ironically, ton of ties between Coach Ford here at Cal State Fullerton and that Oregon program. For Coach Missy Lombardi, 1-1 pitch misses inside. Kelly Ford actually recruited Coach Lombardi to Oklahoma back in the late 90s. They have maintained a relationship since, and Lombardi got her first win of the season against these Ole Miss Rebels yesterday. Diedrich behind in the count, delivers the 2-1 here to Hill. Slapped foul, and that evens the count at 2-2. A little bit late for Hill. A little low outside fastball, just catching the end of the barrel. Toto waiting on deck. Munoz the only out in the inning so far. Backwards K on the inside fastball. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Titans. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors for the Rebels. They have stranded 5 on base. Bunt shown, pull back, 2-2, fouled off. And in the 5th hole, Hill, only a couple bunts a season ago, or 2 seasons ago rather, she opted out of the 2021 campaign. So I think the bunt was just more of an ambiguous pre-swing move rather than the actual attempt, but the 2-2 pitch has her swinging and missing for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Diedrich, 3 Ks here in her inning and 2/3 of work so far, trying to make quick work of the Titans in the bottom of the 3rd. Here's Peyton Toto, 1-for-1 with that RBI back in the 1st. Toto batted .282 last season. She had 19 RBI rather than the actual attempt, but the 2-2 pitch has her swinging and watches the first one find the outside corner for strike 1. Diedrich with the 0-1. Tapped foul. And Diedrich now well ahead in the count for that hat trick here in the 3rd inning. She has a backwards K against Munoz, a swinging strikeout against Hill. And that inspires a ton of confidence for Savannah Diedrich in her 3rd appearance of the season. Played very well earlier against Colorado State. 2 innings, no hits, no walks, no strikeouts, no runs. Just a very clean 2 innings. Last night against Oregon also kept the Ducks at bay. Here's the 0-2. Popped up, shallow infield. Alley makes the catch for out number 3. A quiet bottom of the 3rd inning. Shows no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. It'll be Whitley, Esparza, Jones due up for the Rebels when we return. Titans lead 4-1. You're watching the Easton Invitational on ESPN+.
Getting the incredible iPhone 13 without T-Mobile makes as much sense as playing hide and seek.
Ready or not, here I come!
In the desert.
Really, guys?
T-Mobile has more 5G bars in more places than anyone. And now, when you switch, you can get iPhone 13 on us, on every plan.
You're not gonna fit in that hole.
Don't look any further. Unlock the full power of iPhone 13 on us at T-Mobile, the network with more 5G bars in more places.
Panthers Wild, Friday on ESPN+.
When is a jacket and tie more than thread and fabric? Maybe it's when coaching becomes about more than X's and O's and about turning programs and players into paradigms.
The Tournament, parts 3 and 4, tonight at 9 on ACC Network.
Only the strong survive. Only the strong survive. Only the strong survive. Till the day that we die. Only the day that we die. Only the day that we die. Only the strong survive. Survival of the fit. Only the strong survive. Only the strong survive.
Tate Whitley lead things off here to begin the 4th inning. She lays down a bunt on the first base side. Munoz is there, can't make the throw. 1 pitch runner on. Bunt single for Tate Whitley, who was 0 for 1 prior to that. And Ole Miss has a base runner on here in the 4th inning. The Titans lead 4-1. But it's not like the Rebels haven't had opportunities. This is their 5th base runner. And they've stranded 5, or excuse me, the 6th, and they've stranded 5 in the prior 3 innings, 1 in the 1st and a pair in the 2nd and the 3rd, including runners on 2nd and 3rd back in that 2nd inning. Here's KK Esparza. First pitch, low and away, ball 1. Racy Miranda back out there, by the way. Came in with nobody out in the 3rd. First pitch was a double play ground out. Walked Gutierrez and then got out Deleon to limit the damage to just 1 run. Esparza walked back in the 2nd, was stranded on 2nd thereafter. Big swing and a miss for strike 1. And you saw the speed from Whitley on that bunt. Middle infield playing double play depth, but perhaps we'll see a green light. Definitely a hit and run opportunity over at left, but Sarah playing in on the line, or on 3rd rather. Miranda with the 1-1. Slap down and into right field for a single. Over to 2nd goes Whitley. Back-to-back hits to open up the 4th inning for the Rebels. And once again, the tying run comes to the plate. It's Naomi Jones, but first time is called. And they're going to exchange softballs. Jones 0 for 1 with the ground out to 3rd, her first time up. And a big opportunity here to try and cut this lead just a little bit more.
Center fielder, number 34, Naomi Jones.
Jones, the number 32 recruit in the nation from Mater Dei High School. Corners in, bunt shown, pulled back, pitches low and away for ball 1. And a heads-up play by Toto to recognize that Becerra would have to go in and field that bunt. She was quickly over to cover 3rd base, but nothing doing. But I like that approach here for Ole Miss. Sometimes small ball is the answer. And right now with a bunt and a quiet single, they have something brewing. That pitch missing outside for ball 2, and I think Miranda recognizing because the bunt is to play here for Jones, trying to pitch away from her. Unfortunately, Jones has incredibly high IQ there in the left-handed batter's box. With a great eye, recognizing those balls outside, pulling back those bunts, finds herself ahead in the count. She's going to force Miranda to throw her strikes. Here's the 2-0. That one's in there for strike 1. Good comebacker there from Racy. First ever appearance in her collegiate career, and it came back in the 3rd inning for Racy Miranda in a big spot. She came through. But the Rebels looking to make her pay here in the 4th inning. The 2-1 in. Crossing the plate, strike 2, and just like that, Miranda catches back up. She was down in the count 2-0. Jones was sitting pretty with that count up on the board, and all of a sudden 2 comebackers called strikes, evens the count 2-2. Whitley at second. Spars at first, nobody out here in the 4th inning. Miranda toes the rubber. She rocks and she fires. The 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Jones goes down. Second strikeout of the ball game for Miranda. Out number 1 up on the board here in the 4th. And that is how you work your way back into a count. Racy Miranda showing a bit of veteranship inside the circle as a freshman here for the Titans. And here's Michaela Alley, 0 for 1 today. A ground out in the 1st. She was hit back in the 3rd. Came around to score the lone run for the Rebels. First pitch from Miranda, up and away, a ball. Whoa, no, called a strike. The Ole Miss fans agreed with me, but it doesn't matter. None of us are umpires. There's a strike up on the board. Runner's ready. Here's the 0-1. That one does miss inside to even the count. So one's across the board now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away, 2 on here. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Titans. 1 run, 3 hits for the Rebels. No errors on either side. Both fields have done a great job so far. The 1-1 from Miranda. Same spot as the last one, ball 2. I like the idea of working that inside corner. She's trying to get that ball to ground over to Becerra, who is a magnet with her glove. Saw that unassisted 5-3 double play back with Abby Latham, the first batter that Miranda faced. Very similar inside corner fastball. Here's the 2-1, goes back to the inside corner again and misses. From 0-1 to 3-1, 3 straight fastballs in the inside corner missing. And Michaela Alley staring at a 3-1 count here in the right-handed batter's box. And again, it's a smart strategy here from Racy. You know that the left side of your field, from our vantage point, is incredibly strong. They're trying to capitalize, but unable to find the zone. Here's the 3-1. That one, belt high, strike 2. And a battle brewing now between Michaela Alley and Racy Miranda. Esparza at first, Whitley at second. Naomi Jones just struck out. She's the lone out here in the inning. Here's the payoff pitch. In on the hands, popped up. Becerra is there to make the out. And a very big out there as Michaela Alley will pop out in foul territory for the second out here in the 4th. Here's Bree Roper, 1 for 2 today so far, 0 for 1, or rather not 0 for 1. She grounded out back in the 1st and then doubled in a run back in the 3rd. That was the lone Ole Miss run. Trying to keep the inning alive. First pitch missing outside, ball 1. We saw the outside corner rather established against right-handed pitchers. We haven't really seen the same courtesy against left-handed pitchers. And Roper doing a good job recognizing where the strike zone is set, staving off on that one. And early on here, she's ahead in the count. Miranda delivers the 1-0. Missing outside for ball 2. Whitley led off with that bunt single. Esparza singled her over to second. Jones struck out. Michaela Alley popped out to Becerra at third. But a 2-0 count here to Roper, representing the tying run. Rise ball missing, ball 3. And Miranda in danger of loading up the bases here for the Rebels, especially with Paige Smith waiting on deck. She's 0 for 0 with a pair of walks. Here's the 3-0 from Miranda. Catching the corner for strike one. Good comebacker right there to keep the at-bat going for Bree Roper. Miranda twirling that ball in her right hand, ready for the grip. Fires in the 3-1 upstairs, ball 4. Roper walks for her first time. The second walk given up by Miranda, the fourth walk given up by the Titans, and that'll load up the bases. And now a conversation to be had inside the circle with the entire infield. Don't think we're going to get a change. Miranda came in with nobody out back in the third inning against Abby Latham. Got her to ground into a double play. She walked Gutierrez but retired Deleon to get out of the inning unscathed. Here in this one, she's given up 2 hits and her first walk of the inning. And the base is all juiced up now. Whitley at third, Esparza at second, Roper at first. Paige Smith waiting on, an expert at getting on base. An expert at setting up Abby Latham in the cleanup spot, and right now an opportunity to do some damage with her team down 4-1. Meeting breaks, Miranda's ready. She rocks and she fires the first pitch. Inside corner, strike one. A beautiful pitch to start out Smith. Smith got all the way to third base. Back in the third, she was stranded thereafter. Was the culprit on the unassisted 5-3 double play when Becerra tagged third. As Miranda brings in the 0-1. That one bounces in the dirt for ball 1. The runners will stay put. Titans dugout, everybody on their feet right now. And they are vocal, trying to express their support for their freshman pitcher. Here's the 1-1 to Smith, a big swing and a miss, strike 2. Smith wanted to hold back. You can tell with the way that she slowed her roll on the swing, but it was way too late. Not only did that bat cross the plane, it actually went all the way to her other shoulder. And Miranda now working with a 1-2 count. Trying to leave the bases loaded. The freshman Pearson fires the 1-2. Cut back to the circle. Miranda's there, underhands it to Munoz. And that's how the top of the 4th inning will conclude. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. The bases left juiced up. Bottom of the 4th is upon us. Titans holding on to a 4-1 lead. Alyssa Hernandez, Dean Duup when we return here at the Easton Invitational on ESPN+. Really uplifted the circle so far here. Looking for her 7th straight out. Working ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Alyssa Hernandez waiting on deck. Antoinette Dean in the hole. I'll call a show's bump, but I promise you that'll be pulled back. Here it is, the 1-2. Slapped back to the circle. Diedrich is there. Over to Gutierrez for out number 1. That's exactly how the top half of the 4th ended, with Paige Smith grounding it up to Miranda for the 3rd and final out to steal the inning away from any potential runs from the Rebels. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Titans, 1 run, 3 hits for Ole Miss. No errors on either side. Rebels have stranded 8 on base so far. The Titans have only left 2 on base. That was back in the first inning. They showed 9 batters at the plate in that first inning. Since then, 7 straight outs. Savannah Diedrich has done a masterful job. And that'll bring up Alyssa Hernandez now. 1 for 1, an RBI single back in the first. She was stranded on first thereafter. Wide stance in that right-handed batter's box as Diedrich begins to go to work. Here's the 0-0. Big hack and a miss for strike one. Beautiful fastball. That was in the zone no matter what, just a tad upstairs, and Hernandez missed all of it. The 0-1 from Diedrich. Popped up, left side, Smith under it. And she's called off by Allie, who hits the deck but makes the grab for out number 1, or out number 2 rather. Smith was under it, and at literally the last possible moment, Allie said, you know what, I want the stat on the pop out. Made the catch. And here's Antoinette Dean, 0 for 1 today with a strikeout back in the first inning. Ole Miss came from behind earlier against Colorado State, won 7-6. Here looking to do the same. There's a bunt that was shown but pulled back. Pitch misses, ball 1. At New Mexico State, Dean batted .286 in just her lone season. Should have 10 stolen bases as well. That was second on the team. Here's the 0-1. Catching the outside corner to even the count. Really good comeback from Diedrich. She does not miss by much if she does miss. She recognizes where the strike zone is established from prior at-bats and continues to either toe the line or just really pitch right at some of these batters. We saw with Alyssa Hernandez and Alcala. Looking for a 9th straight out. Here's the 1-1. That's a strike. Dean held back. It did not matter. That was right down Broadway. And Diedrich working ahead now, looking for her 4th K of the evening. One ball, 2 strikes. Diedrich looking to end the 4th. This one is a tapper down the 3rd. Smith is there. Over to Gutierrez, out number 3. The Titans have been retired 9 straight going back to the 2nd inning, but they lead 4-1 as we head to the 5th. It'll be Latham, Gutierrez, and Deleon when we return. You're watching the Easton Invitational, and it's on ESPN+.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Middle of the order, 2 up for the Rebels, looking to make up the deficit here, trailing 4-1 as we welcome you back to Anderson Family Field. Jonathan Rifkin on the call, our fantastic ESPN Plus crew. Here's Racy Miranda delivering a first pitch ball to Abby Latham, who's 0 for 2 in the cleanup spot. Struck out in the first, grounded into a double play. The first batter that Racy Miranda saw in her collegiate career back in the third inning. 1-0, foul down the third base side to even the count. Latham, Gutierrez, and Deleon, should that sixth spot remain in her favor. Remember, she came in last inning as a pinch hitter for Kayla Kamoku. But as we hit the latter half of this game, pressure now beginning to mount for the Rebels. They have stranded 8 on base so far here through the opening 4 innings. This one slapped down the third base line, but foul. Brings the count to 1-2 for Miranda. Ole Miss opening their season with 11 straight road games between Fullerton, California, and Troy, Alabama. They'll have a one-off with Southern Miss, their opener at home on the 22nd. Then they head to UCF for 5 games. 1-2 missing outside for ball 2 here to Latham Goodeye. They'll head back home on the 2nd of March to take on Southeast Missouri, and then they have the Ole Miss Classic where they'll take on St. Louis, Western Kentucky twice, and Samford. Final interleague series against Stephen F. Austin before opening up league play against Mississippi State. How about that, a rivalry series to begin SEC play. 2-2 pitch missing outside, ball 3 at Latham. A little hesitant to hold off, but it was the right decision. And Miranda now has to deal with the 3-2 count up on the board. But Ole Miss really loading up this schedule as well. Oregon, the only ranked team on the schedule, but the SOS will definitely go up in SEC play. This one is a popper down the right side. It stays fair. Rounding first, heading to second is Latham. Throw comes in late, and she's in with a double. First hit given up by Miranda. And a very big leadoff double here as Sydney Gutierrez will stride in.
First baseman, number 16, Sydney Gutierrez.
Gutierrez began her collegiate career at Blinn College out in Brenham, Texas. Regional Defensive Player of the Year. She actually batted .458 in 2018 for Blinn, which led the entire region. Started off at Georgia, but redshirted back in 2017. Here's the first pitch to her. Bouncing in the dirt, gets away from Alcala. From second to third, moves Latham on the wild pitch. And a runner now a pop-up away from cutting the lead in half. Base runners have been abundant here for Ole Miss. Runs have not. That was a tough pitch for Alcala to try and handle behind the dish. Here's the 1-0 from Miranda. Outside, ball 2, and she has really been trying to work the outside part of the strike zone. Not sure if she's really targeting that or it's more so she's trying to pitch away from these hitters. This is a deadly part of the lineup for the Rebels with back-to-back lefties. As Gutierrez digs in. Here's the 2-0 from Miranda. Again, outside, ball 3. And she's in danger of walking Sydney Gutierrez, who has reached base both times. Back in the second, she was hit by a pitch. Walked back in the third as well. And that Ole Miss bench now making their presence felt. Here's the 3-0. Fastball, missing outside. 4 straight outside pitches. Walks Sydney Gutierrez. Corners occupied now. Latham at third, Gutierrez at first. And the tying run coming to the plate, but first the meeting. The Titans do have Alexis Silva and Ashley Dendis warming up in the pen. This is the second circle meeting with Racy Miranda, but I don't think she's going to be pulled just yet. And it does not look like relief will be called upon. Remember, we have a second game this evening. Our friends from St. George, Utah, Dixie State will be in town to take on the Titans. They played earlier today against the University of California. They actually made things really interesting, ended up dropping that game 12-7. But they did match the Golden Bears in hits. All right, so the meeting breaks, and we're back to softball. Gutierrez at first, Latham at third. Here's Angelina Deleon. Came in for Kayla Komoko. 0 for 1 so far today, representing the tying run here for the Rebels. Miranda rocks and fires the first pitch. That one's in there for strike one. Little late break. Now Deleon guessing, chose to shoulder the bat. Didn't matter, 0-1 the count. Stacey Chambers started, only gave up 1 hit, but does have an earned run. Miranda took over for her, has given up 3 hits, but has yet to allow a run to cross the plate. That could change here with nobody out in the corners occupied. This one's taken down the third base side, but foul for strike number 2. Beautiful evening. It was 77 degrees at 5:49 Pacific time when we pitched off. It has dropped now into the high 60s. Perfect softball playing temperature. Again, it really feels like a summer night. Does not feel like February 11th, but that's California weather for you. The 0-2 pitch up and in, ball 1. Especially out here in the Orange County area, we're inland, right off the 57 freeway, where we're sort of in between the hills, so the heat all gets trapped during the day, and then as the air density changes, it can be pretty brisk evenings. Miranda ahead in the count, 1-2, looking for her first out. This one is ripped down the line, stays into the corner. 1 run comes around the score, and that'll be all the damage done, but nonetheless, an RBI double for Deleon. Scores Latham. The lead is cut to half. It's 4-2 here in the 5th. And from first to third goes Gutierrez. You could feel it. You could feel the energy. Every time a Rebel has been coming up in the last 3 innings. In the third, they had 2 in scoring position. Last inning, they left the bases loaded, and here finally capitalizing with runners in scoring position. Nobody away, 1 across in the inning. Runners at second and third. Here's Tate Whitley. A double, a walk, and an RBI double in succession for the Rebels so far in the top of the 5th, and a conversation to be had now in the circle with the infield. And I don't think that this is intentional walk territory. I understand you want to get maybe the force out, but with the small ball approach, a grounder to the left side, which is very efficient fielding in Peyton Toto and Hannah Becerra. That's probably what you're targeting here if you're Racy Miranda. Trying to keep those runners at bay. But with a lefty up, you're going to have to make her miss late, which means we're probably going to see a ton of fastball pitches. Hannah Becerra playing in on the line, so is Daisy Munoz over at first. Whitley 1 for 2 today. Grounded out and bunted for a single back in the 4th. First pitch outside corner, strike 1. 1 run so far around in the inning on 2 hits. Nobody out for our 4th batter. Here's the 0-1. Slap hit attempt goes foul, and Miranda finds herself ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. KK Esparza waiting on deck. Naomi Jones in the hole. Should we get that far here? The 0-2 from Racy. Outside, ball 1. A great hold by Whitley. Thought about going. Held up with plenty of space over the plate. She lives to see another pitch here in this at-bat. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Miranda delivers. This one is cut through the diving glove of Neal and into right field. Coming in and scoring is Gutierrez. Following her is Deleon. 2 RBI single for Tate Whitley, and we're tied at 4. The middle of the Rebels order coming through here in the 5th inning. They played at 3, still nobody out. And KK Esparza, 1 for 1 today with a walk and a single, ready to dig in. All 4 batters in the inning have found a way on base, whether it's single, double, or a walk. Tate Whitley plates 2. She's over at first. Miranda delivers the first pitch. Bunt shown. She misses it. And quickly scurrying back to first base is Whitley. 0-1 the count to Esparza. After leaving 8 runners on base in the opening 4 innings, the Rebels have found a way to unleash those base runners. This bunt goes foul, and Miranda finds herself ahead in the count 0-2. This is the 3rd batter she's been ahead in the count against. But the other 2 times have turned into RBI, either an RBI double, that was Deleon, or the 2 RBI single last at bat to Tate Whitley. And by the way, we will have a pinch hitter rather. Ainsley Furbush waiting on deck in place of Naomi Jones. 0-2 outside, ball 1. Four runs, 6 hits for the Rebels. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Titans. This one misses low, back pick, nothing doing. Whitley gets back to first, no problem. No errors on either side. Both teams have had a very good evening in the field, but all of the damage done for the Titans came back in the first. So far, the damage done by the Rebels, they got a run back in the 3rd and 3 here in the 5th. Miranda looking for her first out. The 2-2 up the middle. Into right field it goes, and holding quickly at second is Whitley as the ball is thrown in. Nonetheless, though, that makes it 5 straight base runners now, and a 2-for-2 day for KK Esparza. She's reached base all 3 times, as we have, as I mentioned prior, a pinch hitter, and we also will have a circle replacement. Racy Miranda's night is over. Alexia Silva will take her spot. 2 innings, 7 hits so far, 3 runs, all earned, but 2 more potentials on the base paths. 2 walks and 2 strikeouts to the first ever appearance for Miranda. And pinch hitting for Ole Miss in the 9-hole in place of Naomi Jones, who ends her night 0-for-2. Ansley Furbush. Furbush was incredibly important against Colorado State. She was the winning pitcher for the Rebels in that game, but she also had a big 2 RBI base knock that sparked that comebacker for Ole Miss against the Rams, and here she is in a massive opportunity. Go ahead run over at second. Alexis Silva, the local product from Fullerton, California. First pitch outside, strike 1. 15 games a season ago in relief for Silvas. 1.98 ERA in 17 2/3 innings pitched. She did have a save, 10 strikeouts, and 12 walks. She had one of the 2 ever perfect games at Mount Sac, though. That was against ELAC. 0-1. In on the hands, fouled back, strike 2. Whitley at second, Esparza at first. All 5 Rebels who have come up in the inning have found a way on base. Latham doubled. Gutierrez walked. Deleon doubled in Latham. And then a 2 RBI base knock for Tate Whitley, who's standing on second. KK Esparza, the last batter, singled. The 0-2 off speed, swing and a miss, strike 3. And Silvas gets her season going with a strikeout. And mercifully, the first out here in the inning. And now the order turns back over to the top. Here's Michaela Alley, 0 for 2. Ground out, pop out in between, back in the third. She was hit by a pitch. She scored the first run for Ole Miss. First pitch to her, upstairs, ball 1. She represents the 7th batter of the inning. The Rebels trying to parallel that opening inning for the Titans when they showed all 9 and scored 4, but perhaps trying to one-up them in the run total. Here's the 1-0. Glides low for ball 2. Good eye from Michaela. Bree Roper waiting on deck. Silva's ready, toes the rubber, Rocks fires the 2-0 upstairs, ball 3. And now in danger of walking those bases loaded after retiring the first out via strikeout. And it is not uncommon nowadays for batters to swing on 3-0 counts. We'll see if that's the idea here for Allie, if she sees one she likes, the 3-0. Upstairs, ball 4. That is the 5th drawn walk of the evening for the Rebels. That walks the bases loaded. Over to third goes Whitley. Sparza stands at second, and with 1 away, Alley takes first. And now Bree Roper digs in. She's reached base twice. 1 for 2 with a ground out, an RBI double back in the third, and the walk in the 4th. 8th batter of the inning. The Titans searching for out number 2. Middle infield playing in. Trying to anticipate perhaps one of those ground balls to Toto that is so touted for those double plays. First pitch, little indoor action though, missing for ball 1. Back pick attempt as Alley scurrying back to first. And this is what the Rebels did in similar fashion against the Rams. Slow start, started to work their way back, stranded a few on consecutively, and the doors blew off. Eventually, the Rebels held on to a 7-6 win. Here's the 1-0. Popped up. Shallow right field. Out of second comes Neal. She makes the grab. No tag. But the throw is away from Alcala. From third home comes Whitley. And Ole Miss will take the lead here in the 5th inning on a throwing error. An unnecessary miscue by Alexa Neal at second. And with 2 away, it's 5-4. And the first error of the season for the Titans. That run is unearned as well because the second out was made prior to its scoring. It would have been earned to Racy Miranda had it counted. Here's Paige Smith. 0 for 1 today, a pair of walks, was stranded on third, back in the third. Grounded up the middle, back in the 4th. Trying to do some more damage. 4 runs here in the inning. First pitch, finds the top part of the zone for strike 1. 9th batter of the 5th inning for Ole Miss. Abby Latham waiting on deck, hoping for her team to bat around. Silva delivers the 0-1. Big hack and a miss for strike 2. That's the off-speeder we saw Furbush be sent down with. And Silva's pulling it out here to get ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the delivery way upstairs. Good job. I'll call it a leave her stance to make the grab. Sparza at third. Over at second is Alley, both advanced on the air as well. The 1-2. And that one slipped away. Alcala tracks it down and actually rebounds off of the stanchion. Giving a little assist here to force the runners to stay at bay. 2-2 the count. That reminds me of that 50 cent first pitch that was thrown out a few years ago that slipped away from him. Definitely not as egregious, but definitely one Silva would want to have back. 2's across the board now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, 2 on here. The 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. 9 batters step up to the plate. 4 runs cross the plate on 4 hits, 1 error. The bases left loaded. Ole Miss takes the lead 5-4. Bottom of the 5th when we return. Delgadillo, Neal, Becerra do it for the Titans. You're watching the Easton Invitational on ESPN+.
Getting the incredible iPhone 13 without T-Mobile makes as much sense as playing hide and seek
Ready or not, here I come!
in the desert.
Really, guys?
T-Mobile has more 5G bars in more places than anyone. And now, when you switch, you can get iPhone 13 on us on every plan.
You're not gonna fit in that hole.
Don't look any further. Unlock the full power of iPhone 13 on us at T-Mobile, the network with more 5G bars in more places.
Bottom of the 5th inning as we rejoin the action. 1, 2, and 3 batters do it for the Titans, and what an opportune time for the heavy hitters to step in. They trail 5-4 to Ole Miss. Megan Delgadillo steps in, first base taken down the line, and it is called foul for strike number 1. I think it might have actually just glanced off the glove of Paige Smith. Savannah Diedrich back out there for her 4th inning of work. She has retired all 9 batters that she has faced. Going back to the 2nd inning, she has 3 strikeouts, no walks, and no hits. Surgical inside the circle for Savannah Diedrich. Delgadillo 0 for 1 so far today. Walked, scored back in the 1st, struck out in the 2nd. Here's the 0-1 from Diedrich. Right down Broadway, taken for strike 2. Not sure what else you're searching for. If you're Delgadillo, that was a perfect pitch to hit. Chose to stave off. 5 runs, 7 hits for Ole Miss. 4 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Titans. Right now, Racy Miranda is the losing pitcher. But still plenty of game to go. Here's the 0-2. Waved foul, and we'll do it again. Great catch in the stands. Somebody sent her a scholarship offer. And also not a bad throw back into the field as well. Man, did we miss fans in the stands. All those potential foul balls just sitting, clanging off of empty seats. But now Anderson Family Field is packed to the gills and fans getting in on the action. No balls and 2 strikes. Delgadillo is ready, so is Diedrich. Here's the 0-2. It's a hopper to short. Allie is there. She can't make the throw. An infield single for Megan Delgadillo will begin the bottom of the 5th for the Titans. She represents the tying run as Alexa Neal will stride to the left-handed batter's box. And that's the benefit of the slap hit, right? Oftentimes, if you're new to softball, it looks kind of weird. It sort of looks like the Ichiro Suzuki bunt opportunity, but no, the slap hit, or the Happy Gilmore run-up, if you will, but that slap hit is such an important part of softball. And for left-handed hitters who are really fast like Megan Delgadillo, they can turn one hoppers to short into infield singles just like that, and that's exactly what happened. Alyssa Neal 0 for 2 in the number 2 spot so far tonight. A pair of groundouts. First pitch to her is a bunt. Past the glove of Smith. And the out is made to second. Delgadillo had to hold off. Wanted to make sure that Smith didn't grab it on the line drive. So it's a fielder's choice. It was a 6-4 fielder's choice, I believe, right? Because Smith at third missed the catch. Okay. That is confirmed.
Third baseman, number 40, Hannah Becerra.
Delgadillo back to the bench. Alyssa Neal at first. A 1 away for Hannah Becerra. 1 for 2 today. A single, a run scored back in the first. Flew out to right in the second. First pitch from Diedrich. Knee high, strike 1. These teams are battling right now. By the way, the Delgadillo single was the first base runner given up by Diedrich in 10 batters. Also the first hit. Middle infield. Deleon at second, Michaela Alley at short, both waiting for a chance at a double play. Here's the 0-1. Big wave and a miss for strike 2. Diedrich waiting, taking her time, making sure she gets the signs right. Trying to get the second out. Here's the 0-2. Upstairs, ball 1. Good job by Becerra to stave off that one. And quick look by Esparza over to first. Has Neal scurrying back real quick. Titans have only stranded 2 on base. That came back in the first inning. We've had 11 runners stranded for Ole Miss, including the bases loaded in the last 2 innings. Here's the 1-2. High and deep to left field. That's back to the wall. Good for extra bases. And staying at third will be Neal. It's a stand-up double for Hannah Becerra with 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That was smoked off the bat. Wow. Big West reigning freshman of the year. Down in the count, got the pitch that she wanted. She actually pulled back from the bunt really quickly and immediately unloaded on that softball. Here's Daisy Munoz in the cleanup spot, 0 for 2. Pop out to second in the first, a strikeout looking in the third, the first of the 3 strikeouts for Savannah Diedrich. Tying run at third, go-ahead run at second, 1 away. First pitch to Munoz, upstairs, ball 1. You could feel the energy right now ruminating throughout Anderson Family Field. These fans, they miss softball, folks. So did I, though. Just a little side note. How great is this? A Friday night classic between 2 teams in their 4th ever matchup. The last time they were supposed to play, it got rained out. And 5 seasons later, here we are. Here's the 1-0. Foul tipped back off the screen to even the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Becerra standing at second. You can see the smile on her face right now as she communicates with Alyssa Neal at third. They're itching to cross the plate. Diedrich, a stoic demeanor inside the circle, toes the rubber. She rocks, she fires, the 1-1. Popped up on the right side. Gutierrez will palm it for out number 2. Great pitch by Diedrich. Munoz was well behind it, and it was easily handled over at first base. Titans in danger of leaving the game-tying run at third and the go-ahead run at second, but Deja Hill, who had the RBI single back in the first, a run scored as well. She did strike out in the third, making her 1 for 2 on the day, digging in. Nice and calm in that right-handed batter's box. She's going to pull this bat back, I promise you. Here's the first pitch. Up and away, ball one. And that's what the bunt's supposed to do, right? It's supposed to limit, the bunt shown rather, it's supposed to limit the strike zone look from the pitcher. Take away the space. Diedrich took the bait and pitched away. The 1-0 from Savannah. Big swing and a miss, strike one. Fastball just blown right by her. And Deja Hill now staring at a 1-1 count. One ball, one strike. Here's the toss. In on the hands, fouled off, and fan with a really prime opportunity to make the catch, but he fumbled it. There needs to be an incentive for these fans to make a greater effort in the stands, I think. Catch the foul ball, you get a free concession stand item. Where's that rule? I'd be laying out for balls in the stands if that was the case. Diedrich trying to retire the side. Here's the 1-2. Another one slapped foul. This one is well out of the reach of any fans, and we'll do it again for the third time at 1-2. Over at first base, Coach Ford inspiring some confidence in her hitter. Here's the 1-2. Down the third baseline, just goes foul. Paige Smith gave it a look, waved it goodbye as it went foul. And for the fourth straight time, Deja Hill remains alive in the box. 1 ball, 2 strikes. She is really forcing Diedrich to work, but Diedrich still has some pitches to work with as well. One, two once again. This one taken to first. Gutierrez is there. It's a foot race to the bag. Sydney makes the tap for out number 3. The Titans threaten, but they can't plate the runs. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and a pair stranded in scoring position to the top of the 6th so far here tonight. Remember, this is the front end of our doubleheader. Dixie State waiting on, warming up in field number 2. Upon the conclusion of this one, about a 20-30 minute courtesy period before the Titans will retake the field against the Trailblazers. The 2-1 into Latham, taken outside but called a strike to even the count. Of course, Ole Miss and Dixie State got the Easton Invitational going yesterday. 10-1 victory for the Rebels in that one. Gutierrez waiting on deck. Time is called as a softball rolls in from the bullpen. I feel like that's never a good omen. You have a pitcher warming up and all of a sudden the ball comes onto the field of play. Gotta wonder what kind of control is being had, but I think it was actually just bounced off of one of the stanchions. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Latham. Silvas delivers. Chopper back to the circle. Silvas over to first, out number 1 on the board. Here's Sydney Gutierrez. She's reached base all 3 times. 2 walks. Rather, 3 walks. She scored back in the 5th as well. Meticulously finding her way on base. First pitch in there, though, for strike 1. Deleon waiting on deck. Whitley in the hole. Should we get that far here in the top of the 6th inning? 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Rebels. 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Titans. 0-1, slap to center. Delgadillo makes the grab for out number 2. 2 quick outs here for Alexis Silvas. Recognizing her offense was able to garner a bit of momentum back in the bottom of the 5th inning and itching to get them back up here, trailing by 1. Here's Angelina Deleon. First pitch to her. Outside corner, called strike 1. Deleon came in place of Kayla Kamoko. She's 1 for 2. RBI 2-bagger back in the 5th. The highlight also scored thereafter. This one tipped back. Strike 2. With 2 away so far in this game, Ole Miss is 0 for 5. And here's the 0-2. Big wave and a miss, strike 3. The first 1-2-3 inning in the circle for the Titans. It comes in the 6th. As we head to the bottom half, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Munoz, Hill, and Toto due up. And folks, there's a new initiative here for Titans Athletics. They've teamed up with the Cal State Fullerton African American Resource Center to celebrate and honor Black History Month. This year's theme is Black Joy. Please enjoy this video of the Titan student athletes sharing their definition of Black Joy.
All right, Jalen, define Black Joy in your own words.
Black Joy to me is just being proud of who you are. I think historically within the Black community, we've been kind of taught to shy away from our Blackness, so to speak, or the culture that we permeate throughout the world. And I feel like embodying Black Joy is just embodying every aspect of that and taking it as far as you can and being unapologetically you as a Black person, whether you're a man or a woman. I feel like there should be no shame in that, and it's joyous, it's joyful. You know, we're powerful, we're creative, and we do a lot of amazing things for this community. So I feel like Black Joy is just embodying every aspect of that and being proud of it.
Black Joy for me personally is just being proud of who I am and where I come from and having a sense of appreciation for what my ancestors done to put me in this position.
Black Joy is celebrating the things that make your culture your own, like barbecues or cookouts, and just spending time with your family and reflecting on things that make your culture yours.
Black Joy, in my opinion, is being comfortable in your melanin, being comfortable in who you are, and being comfortable in what your ancestors and family has done to get you to where you are today.
To me, Black Joy is being able to see your peers and others that are like you and watching them succeed or just do the things that they always dreamed about doing and actually genuinely being happy for them.
6th inning, ready to go here on the bottom half. Daisy Munoz takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner. Savannah Diedrich back out there for her 5th inning of work. She has been really good, though. Last inning, a bit of a scare. 2 hits, but both runners stranded on 2nd and 3rd. It's actually Deja Hill, who's in right now. Hill 1 for 2 today, an RBI single and a strikeout to her day. Actually, no, it's Peyton Toto, my mistake once again, who's in. Facing an 0-2 count. Toto also 1 for 2, pretty much mirroring Deja Hill's stat line, an RBI single and a run scored in the 1st, but she did pop out to short in the 3rd. Toto, a Wood Creek High School product from Antelope, California. 2-time first team conference, 2-time team MVP. The 0-2 from Diedrich. Paints the inside corner, called strike 3, her 4th of the ball game. What a good way to start the bottom half of the 6th if you're Savannah Diedrich. Here's Jesse Alcala in the 7th spot, 1 for 2, an RBI single in the 1st. Ground out back to the circle in the 4th. Anna Bergen began things in the 1st. She was pulled after giving up all 4 runs. Since then, it has been the Savannah Diedrich show. Inside the circle, that is a first pitch heater. Hacked at and missed for strike 1. Showing bunt, pulls it back. Diedrich delivers the 0-1. That one missing, perhaps a little low to even the count. Reminder, we still have Dixie State on the horizon tonight. Little Big West whack after dark on ESPN+. Still got plenty of ball game here, though, in this one. 1-1 popped up. Not enough space as Esparza runs out of room. But a 1-2 count to Jesse Alcala. Titans got all 4 of the runs in the bottom of the first. Ole Miss got 1 in the third and 4 in the fifth. Both teams with 7 hits, but 1 error, the difference so far by the Titans. Here's the 1-2. That was in on the hands. Luckily for Alcala, she was able to make a bit of contact on the inside part of the bat and remains alive here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Diedrich has not missed by much in all 5 of her innings so far. Fearless inside the circle, going straight at these Titan hitters. The 1-2 in. Waved foul once again, and we'll do it for a 3rd straight time at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 4th all-time matchup between these two teams. First game of the series was on my birthday, February 26th, but I was only 3 years old at the time, 2000. That was out in Norman, Oklahoma. Fullerton won that one 5-0. They played a year later in Albuquerque. Fullerton won that one 9-0. Ole Miss came back at the Mary Nuther Classic in Cathedral in 2009, won 3-0. And as I've mentioned a few times, they were supposed to play in 2017 in this tournament, the season opener in the Easton Invitational. It was rained out, which is crazy to think about considering first pitch time today was 77, and for Ole Miss earlier against Colorado State, they were playing in 90-degree weather in the middle of February. But that game was rained out. They never got to play, and here they are 5 years later matching up for a 4th time. 1-2 pitch missing outside, ball 2 to Alcala. Alyssa Hernandez waiting on deck. The 2-2 from Diedrich. High and deep to left field. Jones is able to get under it, and she makes the catch. Excuse me, that is actually Furbush out there for out number 2.
Number 12, Alyssa Hernandez.
Here's Alyssa Hernandez in the 8th spot. 1 for 2, an RBI single, pop out to short. Diedrich looking for her 4th 1-2-3 inning. 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th. She retired 9 straight. Titans got to her in the 5th, couldn't plate any runners though. And here in the 6th, 1 out away from being retired in straight order once again. Hernandez watches a strike on the outside corner for the 0-1 count. Diedrich delivers, slapped foul, 0-2, and just like that, Hernandez finds herself down in the count. Hernandez went to La Crescenta Valley High School, where she actually batted over 500 all 4 years. 2-time All-Area, first-teamer, 4-time All-Leaguer. Her first career hit back in 2020 was a double against Notre Dame here at the Easton Invitational. 1 career home run, that came against UCF. 0-2 pitch missing inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Hernandez. And Diedrich making her way back to Southern California, where she made her name in 4 seasons at the high school level. And boy, has she come through. A couple of really good innings last night against Oregon. Pitched to perfection against Colorado State. And here she is holding the Titans at bay. The 1-2, though, driven into the night sky. It's a no-doubter, and we're tied at 5 in the bottom of the 6th. The second career home run for Alyssa Hernandez. And that is how you erase the Savannah Diedrich outing. That has been oh so good in the previous 4 2/3 innings pitched. And Coach Ford comes out with a smile ear to ear. We're going to have a pinch hitter in the 9 spot. Kika Ramirez, the sophomore out of Oxnard. Shout out to the 805 will dig in. With a bit of momentum shifting now to the Titans. And that was a moonshot, a no-doubter for Alyssa Hernandez. So Antoinette Dean's day will be done. Dean went 0 for 2 in the 9 hole, a strikeout and a ground out in the 4th inning. Kika Ramirez played 24 games a season ago, 136 batting average, 3 for 22. Should have a trio of RBI and 2 runs scored. 2-time first team All Ventura County back at Oxnard. 2-time first team All Leaguer. She was also a 2-time CIF Southern Sectioner. She was really good in the elusive Coastal Canyon League. Diedrich delivers the first pitch, low for ball 1. And all of a sudden, the energy picking up here on the Titan side. (1-0). Somehow eludes the strike zone for ball 2. Outside of Riverside County, I would argue that Ventura County here of the 4 counties in Southern California probably sports the next best softball. That's where Ramirez played her high school ball. Nothing against Orange County or LA County or San Diego County, of course, but something about the Big 8 Conference where Norco and Centennial play, and Ventura County where Oxnard and Westlake High School and Ventura High School, St. Bonaventure, some of those schools play. Second to none in the nation. Here's a conversation in the circle now. I think that Diedrich might be a tad shaken, and she's behind in the count 3-0 here to Ramirez. And the body language has completely shifted. Coach Arujo here on the near side talking with the trio of his players, and they're all laughing. They seem loose. That's what you want here if you're Coach Ford, right? You want your team to remain confident. You want the body language to remain loose. That's when you play at your best, and Ole Miss now trying to get out of the inning with that 1 homer being the only damage done. 3 balls and no strikes here to Ramirez. Meeting breaks. Diedrich is ready. She toes the rubber, rocks, she fires the 3-0. And ball 4 inside. So after the Hernandez homer, 4 straight balls to the pinch hitter, Kika Ramirez. The first walk given up by Diedrich, just the second walk drawn for the Titans. And Antoinette Dean will check back in here as a pinch runner at first. Order turns back over for Megan Delgadillo. 1 for 2 today, a walk back in the first. Struck out in the second, singled in the 5th. So Dean was taken out in the batting spot. Ramirez draws a 4-pitch walk. And Delgadillo now top of the order The go-ahead run on first, but 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th, ready to go. Diedrich delivers. Runner goes. First pitch, a strike. The throw. Not in time. Antoinette swipes second. And you can feel the confidence now with 2 away. That is a gutsy call right there from Coach Ford at first. But Antoinette comes through. No balls and a strike to Delgadillo. And it was actually a really good throw from Esparza. Ali over there at short just couldn't apply the tag quick enough. Diedrich delivers the 0-1. This one will go foul down the third base side for strike 2. Five runs, 8 hits, an error for the Titans. 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors, but 11 stranded for the Rebels, including 2 consecutive innings in the 4th and the 5th with the bases left loaded. Titans have stranded 4 so far in this ball game. Here's the 0-2 from Diedrich trying to get out of the inning. Low and away, ball 1. Good eye from Delgadillo. Staying alive here, 1-2 now to her. Riverside, California native, went to Riverside Poly High School. Notable alum Paul George went to Poly High School. I think Delgadillo, though, also falls in the notable alumni category, at least in my book. Second team All Big Wester a year ago. Batted .340 in the leadoff spot. Here's the 1-2 to her. Slap hit up to second. Deleon is there. The throw is off the bag. Rounding third. Coming home. And she is safe. Is Antoinette. An error turns into a Titan lead at 6-5. Oh no, they're saying she missed the bag. They're saying that Antoinette missed the bag and she's out. Oh me, oh my. And Coach Ford cannot believe it. 5 the score remains. Whitley is 2 for 3 on the day. Ground out, a bunt single, and a 2 RBI single back in the 5th inning to her total. Alexis Silva's out there, deals a strike on the outside corner to even the count. So we'll get to it at some point here in the inning, but to recount what happened back in the 6th, so Alyssa Hernandez hits a homer. Ramirez draws a walk. Antoinette Dean comes in to pinch run. Gets all the way to third, and then on an error, tries to score. She never touches home plate. And a late tag deems her out to end the inning. And we remain at a stalemate here as Tate Whitley faces a 2-1 count. Whitley, Esparza, and Furbush do up here at the 2-1. Inside corner, taken, strike 2. You need an injection of energy here at 8:30 Pacific time. If you're watching out in Oxford, well, you probably have it. Here's the 2-2 slap hit, shallow center field, and it drops for a single. Neal couldn't get there in time, and Whitley is on with a leadoff single here in the 7th. And going back to that play, here's Antoinette Dean. So there's the error. And then she slides. She never touched plate. You see the home plate umpire looking at her. He looks at her the entire time, and she walks right over home plate. What a great shot by our world-class ESPN Plus crew here at Cal State Fullerton. And unfortunately for Dean, she was the final out of the inning and not the go-ahead run. The go-ahead run here, though, in the top of the 7th is on base over at first for the Rebels. KK Esparza steps in, shows bunt, fouls it for strike 1. The bottom of the order has done really well for the Rebels. Tate Whitley over at first has now singled 3 consecutive times. Esparza's 2 for 2, but she also walked back in the 2nd. So she's reached base all 3 times as well. So make that 5 for 6 between the 7 and the 8 spot so far for the Rebels. Here's the 0-1. Beautiful rise ball by Silva has Esparza guessing for strike 2. So both teams mirroring each other on the line. 5 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error apiece. The difference, the Rebels have stranded 12. Oh, excuse me, 11. Titans have stranded 5. The 0-2 down to left field. It stays fair. Quickly cut off by Hernandez. Whitley over to second. Back-to-back singles has Esparza at first. And the go-ahead run at second here for the Rebels. Naomi Jones reinserted here in place of Ansley Furbush, who took her 1 up back in the 5th and struck out. There are a pair of Titans warming up in the pen as a meeting is to be had inside the circle. But I don't see the call to the pen just yet, which means Alexis Silvas get an opportunity to reset here. We've seen both Coach Arujo and Danielle O'Toole come out to the circle. Rohu, Cal Poly Pomona alum, back in 1992, went to school just up to 57. As I mentioned, he has been a staple for the Mexican national softball team, working with the defense. And he has been here every step of the way for Coach Kelly Ford in her 11 seasons at the helm for Cal State Fullerton. The meeting breaks and we're back to sophomore. Naomi Jones is ready to go. She's 0 for 2. The 9-hole is 0 for 3, though, as a collective between her and Furbush. Ground out and a strikeout. And we have a pinch runner over at first base. A late addition here for Ole Miss.
Center fielder, number 34, Naomi Jones.
Brooke Bernard, the freshman from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, will take over at first base in place of KK Esparza. Bernard, the 11th ranked recruit in the nation according to Extra Innings Softball over at first. She was a 2-time All-Stater in Florida. Palm Beach Gardens High School. Here's the first pitch to Jones. Bunt is shown, pulled back. It's a strike. And you could see the left side of the infield. The way that they're playing right now, they are doing everything they can to protect the corners. Becerra is playing very far in on the line. I mean, this is the prime bunting situation for the speedster Naomi Jones anyways, but Coach Ford is going to come out and have a chat, perhaps a change as well. We're going to have a change out in left field. It's going to be Evelyn Sablon, the junior from Long Beach Poly, coming in. And Alyssa Hernandez will take a seat for the moment. Sablon, the junior from Long Beach, as I mentioned, went to Poly where she was an all-more leaguer. Last season played 20 games, batted .244, but now coming in as a touted defender. Really fast left fielder, and that's the idea here with Naomi Jones, who is very good at going opposite field, digging in. So we've had a few conversations. Naomi Jones has been out there for like 5 minutes and is yet to be able to take it up. Runners on first and second. Tate Whitley opened up the 7th with a single. KK Esparza followed it up with one of her own. Brooke Bernard came in to pinch run. And here's Naomi Jones finally ready to go. Silvas is ready as well. The first pitch in. Bunt shown, pulled back, up and away for a ball. And the count is 1-1. We are in our second hour and 48th minute of action. Bunt goes down the first base side. Jones is safe at first. That is a bunt single, and with nobody out as she flexes those muscles, the bases are juiced up here for the Rebels. Over to third goes Whitley. Bernard to second. Jones at first. Order turns over to Michaela Alley, who has reached base 2 of her 4 times up. And 3 straight singles to begin the 7th for the Rebels. They are threatening once again. Alley grounded out in the first, was hit by a pitch in the third, came around to score the first run for the Rebels. Popped out to third in the fourth and walked in the fifth. Here's the first pitch. Upstairs, fumbled by Alcala, but the runners stay put at their respective bases. The Rebels picked to finish 9th in the SEC, but you put them in any other conference. I mean, think about it this way. They were 12-12 and still made a regional last year, right? That shows their strength of schedule is just so high. And this team, the third highest recruiting class in the nation coming in. That one is fouled back to even the count at 1-1. Dixie State waiting on over the right field side. In our nightcap, Easton Invitational After Dark, if you will. This is an ESPN property, so I think we're allowed to use that title. Silva's ready with the 1-1. Caught the upstairs corner for strike two. Beautiful pitch to try and force Alley into a defensive position in the right-handed batter's box. Corners in, Becerra over at third and Munoz trying to protect the lines. And we know how fast Michaela Alley is. Here's the 1-2 from Silvas. Big swing and a miss, strike three. Second strikeout of the ball game for Alexis Silvas. First out here in the top of the seventh comes by way of a K against Michaela Alley. One away here for Bree Roper. Roper 1 for 3, a pair of groundouts, an RBI double back in the third. She walked in the fourth. Five to 5, we remain. Middle infield itching for a double play ball. Here's the first pitch, an off-speeder in there for strike one. Little looper from Silvas. Paige Smith waiting on deck. The most dangerous part of the Rebels order coming at the most opportune time of the game, but Alexis Silvas is up for the challenge. Here's the 0-1, popped up to right field. Dean is going to get under it. Is it enough to score the run? The throw is way off, and the game go-ahead run for the Rebels in the form of Tate Whitley scores on the sacrifice fly to right field at 6-5. Bernard takes third. Jones takes second. 6-5 here in the top of the seventh as Paige Smith will dig in here.
Third baseman, number 9, Paige Smith.
Smith 0 for 2, a pair of walks, a strikeout, and a ground out to her evening. Trying to keep the inning alive and give her team a bit of a cushion. Silvas ready with the first pitch. Outside corner, called a strike. 6 runs, 10 hits, an error for the Rebels. 5 runs, 8 hits, an error for the Titans. Silvas ready with the 0-1. Little low to even things up at 1-1. One in. Upstairs, ball 2. By the way, the Titans do have their top of the order due up. Which means that, albeit behind, if anybody's going to be up at the plate for Coach Ford's squad, Neal, Becerra, and Munoz are the ones that you would want in this situation. Here's the 2-1, painting the outside corner, evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, 2 on. And 1 around here in the top of the 7th. Silva's trying to limit the damage done. Here's the 2-2. Up and away, ball 3. Great eye by Smith. It started towards the belt, veered away. She never staggered, never wavered. And she has a full count now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the payoff pitch. Waved foul, and we'll do it again. So far, Racy Miranda is, actually Alexa Silva is the pitcher of record. Haven't given up the go-ahead run here. Payoff pitch off the screen. Caught by Alcala. I'll give her style points, but count remains at 3-2. With 2 outs so far tonight, Ole Miss 0 for 6. With runners on, though, they're 7 for 20. Plenty of opportunity for the Rebels. Payoff pitch once again. Silvas delivers. Called strike 3. And the damage is limited to 1 run. A pair of strikeouts for Silvas. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, a pair stranded. The Titans, as we head to the bottom of the 7th, looking to make up the difference. To corral that go-ahead run back in the top half of the inning, courtesy of the Bree Roper sac fly to right. More damage could have been done, but Alexis Silvas was able to strike out the side. Limit the damage to just that 1 run. Another pair stranded in scoring position for the Rebels in the top of the 7th. Here's the 0-2. Well upstairs, got away from Esparza. Doesn't matter, no runners on for ball 1. You got to wonder now, that Antoinette Dean miss at home plate could be the difference in this game. I mean, she slid over the bag, failed to touch it. She was the final out of the 6th inning. Had she made any contact with home plate, we would have a 6-6 ball game so far. Here's the 1-2 from Diedrich. Did she go around? She did not. How about that from Alexa Neal, giving the Titan fans a bit of a scare. 2-2 the count. Ramona Bulldog, Alexa Neal, school athlete of the year, 3-time first-team All-Leaguer. She had a 71-hit season, which is a San Diego section record. Here's the 2-2 to her. Popped up and foul. Will do it again. Back in her freshman campaign, she actually had a streak of 10 consecutive bases reached safely. Looking just to get on here to open up the 7th inning for the Titans. Diedrich looking for her 5th strikeout. Toes the rubber. Rocks and fires the 2-2. Slap hit down to 3rd, off the hop to Smith, over to 1st for out number 1. 5-3 put out, puts out number 1 up on the board for Hannah Becerra.
Third baseman, number 40.
14 homers this season to go. Set the Titan freshman record. Also set the Big West freshman record, and perhaps trying to call back one of those homers here in this at-bat. She's 2 for 3 today, a single, a double, a run scored, and a fly out in her 3 trips. None more important than this at-bat right here. Diedrich delivers the first pitch, bouncing in the dirt for ball 1. Sarah from Diamond Ranch High School. Diedrich from Los Altos. Both in the southern section, both very good softball programs. They just missed each other, though, in their time. Diedrich a senior, Becerra a sophomore. But Diedrich, of course, in her 5th year with the program due to the extra year of eligibility from COVID. Sarah shows bunt. That'll be pulled back. She's just trying to shorten the strike zone. Here's the 1-0. Big swing and a miss for strike 1. And we saw that tactic in the last at-bat, right? Becerra showed bunt, immediately pulled back, and then unleashed a very long double. Using the centrifugal force from bringing the bat back and then using that big stride, that kick forward, squashing the bug with her back foot to rip the hide off the ball. Here's the 1-1. Popped up to right field. Doesn't have the legs. Latham is there at the track. Makes the catch for out number 2. And the Titans are down to their final out. Here's Daisy Munoz, the cleanup hitter, 0 for 3 so far in that spot. A pair of pop-outs and a strikeout. Savannah Diedrich looking for the win. First pitch in, inside, ball one. Away fans thought it was a strike, home fans content with the ball. And this is one of those at-bats, if you're Munoz, that you're not looking to unleash a hit unless you are seeing something absolutely perfect. You want to make Diedrich work right here and extend this game as long as possible. Diedrich delivers the 1-0. That's a strike on the outside corner. Beautiful fastball right there from Savannah. The 1-1. Popped up, right field. Latham barely moves, a couple of feet forward, makes the catch, and that's the ball game. 1-2-3-7, Savannah Diedrich gets the win. She goes 6 innings strong, only 3 hits, 1 run. She strikes out 4 in a return to Southern California. Alexis Silva will get the loss. She goes 2 innings, gives up 3 hits, 1 run. That was the go-ahead in the 7th. 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. What a ball game this was. 10 hits for Ole Miss, plating 6 runs. They have an error, 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Titans. Ole Miss moves to 3.